everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of the Pint Pals Podcast. It is I, Lucas.
My name's Nate.
And today is a very, very special episode. In case you haven't been able to tell by the decorations we have on the table, we have a very special guest. We have Eric from Toppling Goliath. Hi, Eric. How you doing?
How are you guys doing?
Good.
Doing really
Good. This is definitely an episode that I have been excited for. Toppling Goliath is one of my favorite breweries.
He's been talking about it constantly,
And
like all the time.
I mean, Nate got me the tin sign for Christmas. I had to get T-shirts for the episode, and then you as well, Eric. I very much appreciate it. You sent us a box of swag as well, with some coasters. We got some glassware. The one glass didn't make it, but I had to buy a pint glass for this episode. And show the hat.
Oh yeah,
the
yeah.
hat and
Lucas
the
really wants me to wear this hat, but
You can't wear it over the
I don't do
headset,
hats,
so.
man. I don't do hats very often. Yes, we've got some awesome.
Got some awesome stickers, and I'm very excited for it.
I
And
do like the style of it.
and for hooking us up with the one of the beers we're going to be trying today. So
Yeah, no problem. I'm just glad we were able to make it work. I know we were trying to at least for a few months there, but
yeah,
we were
it
able
was.
to make it happen.
I understand that, with everything going on with COVID and just I guess the start of the new year and everything going on. I think I started trying to reach out last year, but it was right around the holidays, so
Right.
that's also a terrible time to.
Great timing there, Lucas.
Yeah, I know. Well, we started the podcast in October?
Yeah,
November?
somewhere around there.
So,
It was honestly a holiday time, constantly
yeah,
throughout the fall. So
yeah. So, Eric, what do you do for Toppling Goliath?
So my title is senior lead brewer, but what I mostly do from at least my day-to-day duties is I oversee just day-to-day work production on the hot side. So running the brew house, kind of leading the other brewers to also kind of guide them with like the just brewing in general and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
So not too crazy. We have separate teams, like the cold side with like the cellar and things like that,
Mhm.
and packaging. But everything from graining in to knocking out the wort into the fermenter tank. That's kind of my wheelhouse.
Awesome.
now, is this location the only location you guys have?
Yes.
Yes.
Say
Okay.
we built the new facility, which is on top of the hill in Decorah. We started there in the beginning or the early, like January of 2018. From beforehand, we were at our old like 30 barrel facility, which was like just right down the hill from where we're at. Then we were there, I think like since like 2015. Before that, we were like in our old taproom location, which is right in the heart of Decorah, since like 2009, or not? 2009.
Awesome. How long have you been at Toppling Goliath?
So I've been at TG for about 3.5 years now. I started in the fall of 2017, but before that, I wasn't really in the beer industry at all. I had a month-long stint at my hometown brewery, Lake Time in Clear Lake, Iowa. They just opened. I was fresh out of college, and I was like, I need a job in the meantime while I'm looking for quote unquote my big boy job. So I worked there for just like doing bartending and things like that for them for a while until I got at least my first job out of college, which I went to college for graphic design, so I was looking for that, and eventually got a job down in Des Moines with a company called Gannett, which is like the parent company of like the Des Moines Register, USA Today, and a bunch of like 50 plus other newspapers around the country, doing like ad work, anything from obituaries to car ads. It would just go like funnel through like the Des Moines and Indianapolis branches of Gannett, and you'd fit them for what the needs were met, and then they just get sent out. But I did that for about a few months. Hated the job because it was I don't know. There was that third late night shift, so it was like 10 o'clock
Ooh.
at night to 6:30 in the morning. I could just never
that's rough.
adjust. It was it was not fun. I was making a lot of mistakes, and that's why they actually like ultimately let me go, just because I just couldn't do like their demand of quality versus
It's a different
that.
mentality.
I just became
working night shift.
yeah, I know, and I just became overwhelmed. But then I bounced around
Yeah.
from a few other jobs. Got another printing job up in Ames, Iowa, which is about 30 minutes north of Des Moines, where Iowa State's at. Did that for about 3 years, and then I don't know. I like the job. I like the people I work with, but I felt stuck. I didn't really feel like I was gonna like move up towards like doing any sort of like design work while I was there, just because that's what I was trying to ultimately get to at the time. Like I'll be like, oh yeah, I'll work with the printers, get my foot in the door, and then hopefully work my way up to doing like design work or at least like layouts or something like that. But I didn't really feel like it was going that direction. So eventually, there's one day where Toppling put a advertisement on Facebook asking for like, hey, we're looking for help in the cellar, cleaning tanks, cleaning kegs, that kind of almost like sort of grunt work. And I'm like,
I
I
can
can do
relate to
that.
that.
I
That's
went,
what I
That's
do
how
yeah,
it's
now.
starting for
That's
Lucas
what I
here.
do now.
right. And what is it like? So I mean, I went to school at Luther College, which is in Decorah. So Decorah is pretty much like my second home for the most part. And so I'm like, I pretty much grew up with Toppling Goliath beer. I've always considered it to be my like hometown brewery, because I started went from school from 2009 to 2013, and Toppling started in 2009, so it was always around. It was always kind of like that place where you'd hang out, study, or just go there with friends and like have a beer or two. And it just so happened to be a world class brewery that's like right in your backyard. And for us, it's just like, it's Toppling. It's always there. But yeah, after I put the ad out, I'm like, yeah, sure, I could do that. Why not? And went up for an interview. Uh, Apparently, they really liked me, because pretty much as soon as we were done, they offered me a job. And I'm like, when can
Nice.
you? I'm like, I don't know. 2 weeks notice is always kind of like at least the kind of the norm. And I'm like, they're like, all right, see you 2 weeks. I'm like, okay.
That's awesome.
So I kind of rush. Yeah, so I kind of rush panicked, got an apartment up here real quick, and then also had to tell my roommate, by the way, be like, I'm leaving. Bye.
See ya.
But no, it's turned out really well. Started down at the 30 barrel brew house system that we were at, like kind of just doing what we're supposed to doing, cleaning kegs, cleaning tanks. I'd help out with packaging every once in a while when they needed help. Did grain in, but then slowly kind of worked my way up, at least fairly quickly, because I happened to be at least joined TJ right in that like hot moment we were transitioning from the 30 barrel system to our 100 barrel system.
Oh wow.
And so
Is that what you run
and
now?
then
Is
there's
the
other
100 barrel?
Yep. So we already sold our 30 barrel system, but I think we still have our old 10 barrel system like in our grain room right now, which is one of the things we wish to at least get set back up at some point, and start doing a little bit more like larger scale, small batch uh, at some point. But yeah, when I was kind of the person who had to do grain in, so there was at the point where we had to do grain in at both the 100 barrel system and our 30 barrel, and I'm like, okay, well, grain in for the 30, run up to the new system, do grain in there, but we hadn't really quite hired enough people yet, and so while we were in that like kind of stretch thin point, it almost came to eventually the point where it's like, okay, well, we need more people to learn the brew house, because it was only our head brewer, uh, Matthew, and then our executive brewmaster, Mike, and like they are the only two people who knew how to run it. And they're like, okay, well, we can't be the only two people who can run the brew house. We need some more people to learn. I'm like, well, you already know like a lot of the hot side, like at least duties that need to happen. So they kind of like just took me under their wing. I started to learn more about the Botex system, which is like the computer program that kind of runs everything for the 100 barrel brew house. And then started learning that, started learning more about the stuff about brewing in general, and about 3 years later, just kind of here I am now.
Are I mean, it's a question for both of you guys. Are most brew houses like computerized? Are they run off?
Not really. Say
No.
Yeah, the one I work at.
No?
Not. I mean, we're only a 15 barrel
Oh,
brew
okay.
house.
yeah, say the 100 barrels very highly automated. Everything from temperatures, valves opening, um, even grain in, knockout. It's like the pump control. It's all computerized based on a like programmed like recipe, quote unquote, that was put in. So everything that shows the pump needs to run this fast at like this point during a brew. You need to raise the kettle at the temperature at this point of the time when there's so many barrels across. So there's all these
Interesting.
different parameters and settings that like kick off and have a rhythm for like what point you are in your brew. and you can also like schedule to do um, pretty much whatever you want, really, for the most part. Like if you want to have like a multi-step mash, like heat up and like loggers and things like that, you can program that in. If you want to do I don't know, like even like the length of like your first and second run-ins, how long you want to do that for, different temperatures,
Is this something
different
that
knockout
took like a while
temperatures.
to learn, or it like, I mean, from going to something that
Um,
wasn't computerized to something that is it like a whole different mindset, or is it something pretty easy to pick
a
up?
little bit. It's not too bad. Like, I mean, beforehand, most of my brewery knowledge was just like home brewing. Like, I only really worked with like a Mister Beer kit beforehand, so like just
I
a
love
few
the
like
name of that.
liters of wort. So like my understanding of knowledge before TG for brewing was not a lot. I'd almost pretty much consider like zero for the most part. So everything I've learned has been through TG, and then while at TG, just trying to like read up and like absorb as much information as possible of how things work. But working with like smaller brew houses beforehand, like after like just going doing like collabs like that at other breweries, they'd be like, okay, this is how they're doing their processes because this is the technology they have. But it's certainly no, but if anything, a lot of the process we have right now, it just more makes things easier. It's more of like a quality of life thing. So it's
Gotcha.
when it when it comes to your mash, like you don't really have to like hand stir your mash with a mash paddle for the most part because there's a large agitator inside the mash tun that like stirs your mash for you. You don't have to like have a super close eye on your like steam introduction for your steam jackets for like your kettle or things like that because you don't have to like it's all like highly regulated with the programming. So it's more of a bunch of like quality of life things that make it easier, but it's still very much you always have to have a constant eye on like what's going on just in the off chance something does go wrong, like a pump goes down or when we're taking like gravity readings throughout loudering to make sure it's like okay, well, we're not hitting like our average like gravity like at like our 50 or 60 barrels across, like what have you, and it's like okay, well, what's causing that, and or we're having so many deep cuts, so we're resetting our grain bed so many times throughout a brew when it's only should be like one or two, and now we're getting like five, six. It's like what's the cause of that? So it's a lot of troubleshooting, even though a lot of it's automated. It's
Hmm.
just making sure you always have an eye on it and making sure we're trying to make things as consistent as possible.
Hmm. Well, I think we're gonna go ahead. We'll dive into our first beer here.
Yeah.
You want to talk about it here, Lucas?
So this is one that I have had before. Um, this is Pompeii IPA. Now, in the Columbus and just the Ohio area, the amount of beers that we get out here are like we get the Sioux series, which we'll be doing later. Pompeii, Fire Skulls of Money. Man, I'm trying to remember to back when I worked at the craft beer store.
Pretty limited though.
It's yeah,
Here,
yeah.
huh?
We
Right.
don't have the, but I was very excited when.
Now, is this the one you found, or is this the one we got from them?
This is the one that I found.
Okay. Well, what could you tell us about this, the Pompeii IPA?
So, Pompeii is our mosaic dry hopped IPA. Uh, Much like a lot of our beers, we always try to keep most of our grain bills fairly simple. We are a big advocate of letting the hops speak for themselves. We're very particular about when we do our hop selection, things like that, to try to always get the best of the best hops that we can possibly get. Because no two lots of Citra, no two lots of like Mosaic are the
Mm-hmm.
same. Say, um, but with Pompeii, we really want to show and pronounce the Mosaic hop, and so it is a purely 100% dry hopped Mosaic IPA. It's really got really nice like pineapple and tropical fruit flavors from that Mosaic hop, and it's one that it's not my personal favorite. I lean more towards the Citra and Sioux side of IPAs, but I've got a lot of great friends who really love Pompeii, and it's one of their favorite beers. And I do love crushing some Pompeiis.
This is definitely the style I go for when it starts to get warm.
It smells great. I can.
Mm-hmm. I'm definitely
smell it.
like
I can smell the tropical. Yeah.
Yeah. Are you ready for the first sip here?
Yeah. Let's go for it.
Wow. Yeah.
How
do you feel about it, Nate? I'm gonna try to make this episode as much Nate focused as possible.
Because focus on Nate because
I've had 3 of these 4 beers already.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
Well,
fair enough. Fair enough. I understand that.
I mean, where I worked, we got samples of them most of the time. So. Personally, I'm a big fan of this one. It's not my favorite from Toppling Goliath, but we are doing my favorite one later in the show. I'm excited. I'm very excited.
Excellent.
But it's very fruit forward. This is something, well, like the tropical fruits from the Mosaic hops. But I don't know, as soon as it starts with I guess spring has sprung. It's been 70 degrees here in Ohio, in the Columbus area, for the past couple of days. Oh yeah, it's been great. I'm because it was really cold like the week before, and now it's finally
it's raining and drizzly here now. And last week it was a little colder on the colder side, but before that it was like in the 50s, 60s. But
I'm sorry to be rubbing this in your face.
We'll get there soon. I think next weekend we're scheduled for some like 60, 70 degree weather. So soon. This is,
it's not too in your face with the hops. It's very easy drinking.
So I do really enjoy that Mosaic hops taste. I'm not really getting much of the tropical flavor.
Okay.
Do you get it initially, or do you get it more?
Well, I think it's just because of my refined.
Yeah,
palate.
you are. You have a refined palate, of course. And there's little me.
No, I mean,
it's kind of up front. I do get kind of that tropical taste, but to me, I mostly just get a hoppy taste.
You just get the hops.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do like that.
Good.
The hops. We've had plenty of other ones with Mosaic hops as well, and I enjoy most of them.
I know. I'm trying to think which one did we have that?
Which one do we have? What do you mean?
Yeah, which of the Mosaic?
I don't know. I know we've had several others in the past.
Oh, okay.
And I haven't joined. I can't remember specifically what.
Oh, neither can I.
Which ones they were. Mosaic hops seem to be a very common form of hops.
Yeah,
right?
I would say so.
Yeah.
Yep. So like it's usually a lot of breweries. They always kind of call them cheat hops, like Citra and Mosaic. Always kind of are very. They're super popular. They have a lot of like those qualities where, people enjoy like that citrus, orange, grapefruit, pineapple flavors that are all, similar in taste, but can be diverse when used in the right hands.
I gotta say, afterwards, like the aftertaste, I am getting that fruity taste now. So,
hey, I'm upset that I was only able to find the one can of it.
It was just one can?
One can of it was left in the single section. And I wasn't able to get a 4-pack of it. So
a little bit more here.
That's why we only have the one can of this one. Are you ready to give it a rating, you think? Or
yeah, you want to talk about our rating system here?
Yeah. So here on the Pint Pals Podcast, we have our very own special rating system. We call it the Prost system. And each letter of Prost has its own meaning. P means probably won't drink again. R is regrettable. O is optimistic. S is satisfactory. And T is terrific. So
I like that.
Thanks. I
for the longest time we were saying
we were basically just doing the Untapped ratings.
Yeah.
But we wanted something to be our own, and we decided to do that.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna go with an S for this.
Okay.
I think now that I'm drinking more of it, I'm starting to be able to pick out a little bit more stuff from it, and I do like it isn't overwhelming with the hops, like you said. I agree. I'll take that real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
And I'm really starting to enjoy this aftertaste. I'm really big on aftertastes with beers. It's just, I don't know. There's been too many beers where a bad taste has been left in my mouth afterwards, and
Definitely.
especially if I'm eating with a meal. I want something that's gonna be enjoyable with that meal and not gonna make me just be disgusted afterwards. So this is something that I think would pair well with I don't know, honestly, any kind of meal. But yeah, any kind of meal. But yeah, I just in saying, like, I think this is something that I would enjoy eating with a meal or drinking with a meal.
Right on.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give this one an S as well. This is probably in my top 4 or 5 beers from you guys. This is something that I go to. I would say fairly often. I go to.
Right.
But I get a lot of the tropical flavors from it, and I don't know. It's kind of, I don't want to call it a juice bomb because it's not a juice bomb, but to me personally, it does have a lot of those tropical grapefruity flavors, which I do enjoy in a lot of the, I don't know, kind of like a juicy, hazy IPA
Right.
kind of.
And that's like what, at least when it comes to like our man, what's the word I'm looking for? Our like our flagship beers, say they're not really like built to be like juice bombs for the most part. At least kind of like that super northeast or northeast IPA like style that they're kind of known for. I mean, they're supposed to be like hazy and still have like that like juice quality, but not be like just straight up like pure juice,
Right.
almost like orange juice.
Right.
Still have like those like IPA, like the traditional IPA qualities, maybe a little bitterness. At least that it still has that lingering bitterness that what the style was mostly known for.
Yeah, no, and that's the main reason I enjoy it, because it's not overwhelming and it's not just a straight up can of beer orange juice. I can have a few of these, I would say, and not get tired of it. Are you
good to move on to the next one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm going to set that off to the side. I'm going to save that one for our toast section at the end of the podcast, I think. So this one, this is the one that you actually sent our way. This is, am I saying it right? Is it Mosey?
It's Mosey.
Mosey? And you said that this one is your favorite IPA.
It is one of my favorites.
Okay.
My favorite one's actually Golden Nugget, which we don't really make too frequently anymore.
Gotcha.
I'm trying to make him do it, but we just haven't made it in a hot minute. But Mosey is I guess like a sister beer. So we have another beer called Zealander, which predominantly focuses on the Nelson Sauvin hop from New Zealand. But Mosey is pairing the like North Hemisphere or Western Hemisphere hops with Eastern, or Northern with Southern, I mean. And so it's pairing the Nelson Sauvin hop with the Mosaic hop. So to try to treat the like that white wine, kind of like or like white grape flavor that you can kind of get from Nick Nelson, that's very like subtle and delicate, with the more northern hemisphere hop of the Mosaic, with like that pineapple and more tropical fruit flavors to kind of like put them together.
I am enjoying.
I dig the smell.
I'm enjoying the aroma on this one a lot. Hey, pass me the can. You keep putting it over there. I have short arms. I can't reach it.
Okay. Well, get longer arms, man. So I did have a question. So you went to school for graphic design. Have you ever considered doing any kind of graphic designs for the cans or the artwork on the cans?
I mean, actually, that's a fun story too, where oh man, I might have been just out of college. There was one point where TG was looking for a new graphic designer before Sarah Headland came in, which is our current one,
Mm-hmm.
and pretty much revamped all of like TG's branding right now and what it is today. I mean, I put my hat into the court, but looking back through my old portfolio, it is not good.
Give
And
yourself credit, man.
I know, but at least compared to what Sarah's doing right now, you're not really supposed to compare apples to oranges. But no, I haven't done any sort of like design work or at least just playing around in quite some time. And so it's something I definitely need to get back into, but just I haven't had the free time to, or at least the motivation to really try my hand at design work again. Something I'd probably like to do, but no, honestly, Sarah does a fantastic job. She's done a really good job of like rebranding and reshifting TG's at least identity and things like that into something that's more consistent and more well known. So she does like an awesome job at all the artwork. Like I really love. We just released a beer called Safety Porpoises that we did with Blackstack, which is in the Twin Cities, and it's hilarious. It's a bunch of it's just a bunch of like porpoises, like sea porpoises, sea cows with like with a bunch of PPE equipment on, like hard hats and safety vests, and it's hilarious.
Didn't you guys just come out with one as it looks like the Jurassic Park fences?
So we did a collaboration up at Blackstack. That one's just called Jurassic Park.
That's right. Yeah,
and
yeah.
That's the collab we did up there, and then Safety the Porpoises when they came down to our brewery.
Gotcha.
All right, we good?
Yeah, I'm ready to do. This is the one that I haven't had before. So.
All right, let's go.
Yeah. Did you go to cheers me?
I was about to cheers you. Yeah,
well, we don't do that. Here.
We didn't commit.
Ooh.
Okay.
I like that quite a bit.
Yeah.
Good.
This is.
That's a different.
We're doing 4 different. Well, pseudo being a pale ale, but we're doing like 4 basically. IPAs and definitely hop forward beers. But just from these 2 alone, I'm getting very, very different tasting notes, getting very different like hop profiles. Which
this one's very different compared to the one before.
Yeah, it's very different than Pompeii, which is a good thing. I mean, I'm not sure.
It would make sense to make the same beer over.
Yeah. But this is something I could sip on all day. This is great.
Awesome. No, yeah. So that's the cool thing about at least like hops and things like that, where I don't know, everyone makes the joke that like all Northeast like IPAs and juice bombs all taste the same, but it's like, well, when you actually put them together, like the actual like flavor profiles of different hops are just it's awesome because like it's like the science and everything behind it, where no 2 hops are the same. Sure, they might have similar like profiles, but like you put them side by side, you're like, okay, there's that difference.
Why is this one one of your favorites?
I just really tend, at least right now, tend to lean more towards like those southern hemisphere hops. Like I've been a huge fan of Galaxy for a long time. Say as of late, I think some of the crops have gotten kind of like diminished, and some of their flavors have kind of dwindled a little bit. But I mean Nelson, Rwaka, Galaxy, a lot of like these like new hype like beers or hops that are coming out of like New Zealand and Australia. They just have such like a super unique and interesting just like flavor profile compared to at least suppose like what we're kind of seeing now is from like Yakima Valley and things like that, like Citra, Mosaic, and just kind of like those traditional like American hops. So it's just more of like, even though we've been so exposed to like those flavors, having like a different take on that from those like some of the hemisphere hops is it's, I don't know, it's more alluring right now.
Galaxy hops. That's one we had previously on the show. Do you remember that? It wasn't Outer Belt. I just remember because it was one that's not as common. It was new, kind of new, up and coming sort of hops becoming very popular, but it was also harder to get. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Wasn't North High, was it?
No, it wasn't North High.
Their
It was
changed
earlier
recipe?
than that. It was earlier than that. It was probably back in December.
Oh, that's way too far back.
Way too far back to remember.
I don't know what you
We
want.
gotta start keeping like a calendar of all this stuff to remember.
I have a calendar of this stuff. I have all
No,
calendar for the.
All right. Well, we gotta have it up while we're actually podcasting.
I'm the one who plans the shows, mate. I have the calendar.
I just need to have a better memory. I don't know. That one sounds familiar, but that you said that's a more up and coming kind of hops that people are starting to use. The Galaxy.
I'm sorry.
The
Sorry, can you
Galaxy
repeat the
hops.
question?
Yeah. So you said the Galaxy hops are one that's more up and coming, becoming more popular.
They've been around for a while. I say a lot of the hype, like more popular hops that are coming out recently right now are like Sabro and Strata, which are both like American hops as well. But Galaxy's also just been one of those harder hops to get. Like a lot of those Southern Hemisphere, New Zealand, Australia hops are a little bit more expensive just because of like importing and things like that. But for a long time, like anytime I'd see a beer that had like Galaxy, I'm like, I'm gonna get that instantly just because I know that it's just one of those hops where it's like I'm a big fan of that hop. So if a place is doing it justice, then like I'm gonna be all about that beer. Like that's why for Sioux, we have like 3 main different varieties like off the Sioux, like the pseudo Sioux line. We'll eventually get to pseudo Sioux. I'm assuming, but we also have like DDH Sioux, the double dry hop Sioux, Mosaic Sioux, and then we also have Galaxy Sioux, and Galaxy Sioux's always been one of my favorite like offshoots of the like pseudo Sioux line.
Wow, I'm enjoying this a lot.
Good, good. I'm glad. I'm glad because
I'm glad.
I'm glad I got 2 cans to take home with me.
Yeah.
The biggest thing is like the hops are not like in my face, and I love that about this.
Yeah, and I'm kind of surprised, honestly, because I would say for the most part, I don't know, like the beers we've done on the show previously have been a lot of adjunct-based beers, I would say.
Yes.
And like this is definitely a change of pace, doing 4 pretty straightforward beers, like IPA wise. I mean,
right?
Like we've
been doing a lot of stouts though, only because it was winter.
Because of the winter,
That's what it's felt
just
like.
being
Yeah.
Fair.
stout
Oh
season.
yeah.
But yeah, we've usually done a lot of adjunct ones. I don't think we haven't done a lager episode yet, which I'm excited about.
That'll be nice.
Oh yeah. Because that's more my wheelhouse. That's what I tend to go to, especially during the summertime. Is the lagers and the pilsners. I guess. Well, we did the Thanksgiving. That was Scrimshaw, but that was probably the only like base beer. But I'm glad to see that you are enjoying these without all of the adjuncts and stuff like that, and that your horizons
you
are
spoiled
expanding.
me, and now I'm experiencing something else. I like it. Yeah,
That's one of those things that I don't know. We pride ourselves on, where I feel like a lot of breweries nowadays to at least try to stand out, or potentially hide flaws in their beer. I'm not calling anyone out, but I just know I know that's kind of a prevalent thing where you can hide behind a lot of your adjuncts by adding more sugar or snake cat or like snack cakes or whatever to your mash or boil and get this super cloyingly like sweet beer, but you're also hiding maybe potential like diacetyl or other off flavors in your beer. But that's something that we really pride ourselves on, is just making a well crafted dry hopped like IPA, and just having like no adjuncts, no frills. Like here's the beer with our quality ingredients that we're using to put out to the world and have a good tasty beer that anyone can get.
And I mean, from what I've had, I can say that it's true that what you're saying. I've enjoyed everything that I've had so far from you guys, and I know in the Columbus area, it's sometimes harder to get those like the plays on the Sioux series and whatnot because of reasons like that.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and rate this beer here. Do you want to give your rating first this time?
You can give it first.
All right, so my previous one was an S. I'm gonna give this one a very, man. I'm gonna go with a very high S, but I also almost want to give it a T as well.
Do it. Do what makes you happy.
Do it.
Do it.
I'm gonna go with a T. I'll go with a low T on this.
Hey.
I think it's just really. I don't know. When it comes to describing beers, I'm obviously not the best at it.
Hey, but you're not the worst at it.
I mean, fair enough. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. But this one, was this a dry hopped as well, or was that just the other one?
No, it's dry hops.
They're both dry hopped.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, this one.
All our IPAs are dry hops.
Oh, they all are. Okay. Because I mean, honestly, I haven't had a lot of dry hopped IPAs. I know we had a few.
No, most of the IPAs that we've had have been.
Say usually an IPA is
Really?
going to be dry hop for the most part. Yep.
Interesting. Okay.
Because if you do a wet hop, the hops aren't as.
Interesting.
Right.
No, I didn't know that.
And usually with wet hopping, they're traditionally done in the boil.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then I guess I have had a lunch. Well, I said that last time. You didn't bring that up. Oh, you didn't mention that to me.
I don't.
No, it's fine. You're not my supervisor here.
I'll correct you in front of others.
Okay. Well, I'm thoroughly enjoying this. I think the flavors are very prominent in this, and I do like the fact that like the hops aren't very in my face. It's overall just a really good flavor into it. And also the aroma originally was really good.
Yeah, I am also going to give this one a T. This is the first time I've had this one, and it was really hard for me to not open the 4-pack beforehand and sample it because it was just sitting on my counter staring at me. And
drink me.
And no, to go off what Nate was saying, I mean, the hop profile is there. And it's very light, easy drinking. I mean, I don't even know what the ABV is of this one, but
I'd have to check it on the other one as well.
Yeah, I mean, this is.
See, I want to say, I think Pompeii is around a 6.2.
Oh, okay.
And I think Mosey is also similar in around like that 6.2 range.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I had a feeling it was probably in that ballpark of things, but I mean, it's easy drinking. It's got the hop profile there, and it's not as juicy as the other one, and I do like the juicier ones, but this
to me that's the opposite. I get more juicy from this one than I did the other one.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
That's what I love about
palates
beers.
are
I feel
different.
like
Palates are
have
different. Palates are different. That's what we're learning.
Yeah.
But it's. I don't know. This is something that
I'm disappointed
I
because
say
I almost drank all of it.
6%, but I don't know. I could crush this. I guess like this is something I would sit outside on my back patio on like a hot summer day and just sip this.
I definitely feel like I could have a lot more of these as compared to
what food would you
Pompeii.
pair this with?
I mean, I would still probably go with like bar food. I'd probably still do. I feel like most IPAs. Go ahead.
I think it's good with any greasy bar food. I mean, there's been times too where I've used like a pseudo sous for like beer boiled brats, and they turn out awesome.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I gotta try
That sounds
something
good.
like that.
I don't have done anything beer.
Yeah, you're the only one with a
related.
grill in a yard. I don't know why you haven't taken advantage of that.
I don't know, that grill sucks. I need to get a better grill. I'd take it apart just to get it lit. It doesn't have the igniter on it. Yeah, I feel like most IPAs are really good with honestly bar food.
Yeah,
just that greasiness.
I'm a little worried.
What's that?
So you're getting 2 cans. We did one of the cans for the episode. I have 1 can.
Do you want one of these cans?
No.
Do you want one of these cans?
I just
He's trying to steal the other can from me.
As soon as I see this in stores, I'm gonna
You're gonna go for it?
I'm gonna go for it.
Do you think this will make it to Ohio?
Oh, eventually.
Yeah, eventually.
Oh yeah, I think at some point. I don't think it's definitely out of question. Say I don't know what our whole like plan of attack is for when it comes to like distribution and things like that. But I think it's more of
Mhm.
like reaching out and finding just partnerships that work for us and work for them as well, and
Mm.
something that just feels right.
Speaking of distribution, um, I saw that you guys are now
Segway.
available in Texas and what was it, Arizona now?
Yep. So I think that raises us to 32 states now,
That's
or
awesome.
31
Nice.
for states that we're in. Of course, that's not usually like full states. So at least with Arizona, we're already with Scout distributors. I think they're based out in like Southern California, but I think they just expanded out into Arizona, and so since we're part of their portfolio, uh, we're now in Arizona. Um, but as for Texas, I since I don't work on that side of like
Hmm.
at least our company, I'm not too educated on it. But at least from what I think, I'm guessing it's probably going to be more the metropolitan areas. So like probably Houston, Austin. I think Austin definitely. But at least at least from what I know, at least that where we're at for those two states.
With distribution, does it just come down to like state law? Is that why it's so difficult to get it to all the states?
It's very difficult to get beer into Ohio. It's one of
Mm,
Ohio is one of the
Just
hardest
does it
states
just
to
come
get
down
into.
to the law for each
It's
state?
definitely states because like
Yeah.
Wisconsin's easy. That's why actually during COVID, a lot of other like breweries are like, yeah, we'll just ship beer out to like Wisconsin because it's like they're pretty relaxed when it comes to like distribution. Um, but yeah, it's always like state depending. Like certain states have like you have to have the ABV listed on the can. Other
Hmm.
states you don't.
Hmm.
Uh, it's just certain other laws, at least some funny laws like that, where depending on the state, you can do certain things or you can't, or the packaging has to be a certain thing. I think it was like one of those things where like Oklahoma or Utah, I know they have some weird laws just because of reasons. Utah mostly because just
Oklahoma
like they're
sounds like it would have
predominantly
weird laws.
Mormons,
I don't know why. Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Utah probably as
And
well.
But
Utah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but
but it's
huh.
just one of those things where it's like then you also have to figure out like what regions certain distributors have. Because I think like in Florida, we're like in like pretty much like 99% of the state, but there's like 3 or 4 counties we're not in for some reason. I think just because they have like whatever distributors I think in those counties has a
Huh.
foothold or something like that there. So and we haven't I don't know what the talks are yet, but I remember looking at our distributor map that was like that's where there's only like 3 counties in Florida we're not in. That just seems odd. And I don't think it's metropolitan area there. It wasn't like Tallahassee or anything like that. It was
Hmm.
just like 3 random counties. I'm like that's odd, but okay.
I mean, so when I first, I mean, I used to work as a server and bartender, but after that, I worked at a craft beer and wine store in Northwest Ohio.
Hmm.
And so, like, a few of the things, like, we would have people that would come in and they would constantly request stuff. But I think with Ohio, you have to be able to make a certain amount in order to distribute here. Like,
Okay.
Hmm.
it's got to be like you're producing this much, and
To distribute within the state,
not to distribute in the state, but like to show that you can,
or even allowed to distribute.
like, to show that if you distribute, let's say, and it like goes over really well. I mean, this is what I think the reason
Hmm.
behind the law is, or whatever it is that like if you distribute in the state and it goes over really well, and there's a high demand for it, that you're kind of able to keep up with it and not be like, oh man, we bit off too much more than we could chew type thing.
Right.
Mm.
That's what I think it is, but I mean, I don't know, and I also know Ohio has some dry counties still. I mean, there's still dry
Was
counties.
it
out
really?
there. Oh yeah, there's some dry counties in New York.
2021, we
Maybe
still
not
got dry
counties, but
counties.
towns.
I feel sorry for him.
Yeah,
Right.
Well,
No, but I mean, like Minnesota, which is like just shoot like 10, 20 minutes north of us, because we're right at like the Minnesota border for the most part. Uh, like a lot of the breweries up there have been fighting. Just like they can't technically, I think they can't have growlers in their tap room for some reason, but they can
Huh.
sell packaged beer. It's very odd, and I know they're trying to fight for that. But Minnesota's had some for as many like craft breweries that they have. They have a lot of like very outdated like laws that I mean, it's just one of those things where it's like Congress has like the state Congress has always had like other things on their plate to worry about old prohibition laws. It's like
It's
the last thing on their plate.
it's going to be real interesting that all of these laws that have been laxed during COVID with like
Mm-hmm.
mailing beer and shipping beer throughout the state,
See how it evolves once.
beer delivery, just to see like they're gonna be like, all right, no, things are back to normal, and it's like, no, 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 that's a whole line
Yeah,
of revenue you're cutting away from us now.
I think
it's been nice though, because like the whole like oh yeah, you can just go to like a brewery and like do drop off or something like that, where like things you couldn't have done before, but like
Mhm.
Congress is like oh yeah, it's in because everyone's at home, this is fine now. Now it's like why didn't we do this before? It just seems like a such a smart thing to do,
Right.
but hopefully they can at least keep progressing in that fashion. Be like no, let's keep going with this because things that seem like oh yeah, why aren't we doing that already? It's like oh yeah, because this law from like 1920s is still enacted. It's like, oh yeah, we should probably get rid of that. It's like, yeah,
Have you guys
duh.
been doing beer delivery?
We did right when COVID started. But as soon as someone like towards like the late summer, uh, we think we still do like pickup and things like that, which we kept around. We didn't have that before.
Mm.
Like ordering online. But yeah, we don't do. I think we did deliveries for maybe about a month or so, and then after that, it was since we're not like in a major metropolitan area,
Mm-hmm.
like the nearest towns maybe 20 plus minutes.
Fair enough. Yeah.
So, but what we were doing before is pretty much like just Decora.
uh, how are how are you guys? I mean, I guess things are slowly opening back up, and things are, I guess, are going back to the way things were, and we're gonna have a new sense of normalcy, pretty much coming soon, maybe.
Hopefully,
Yeah.
fingers crossed.
But how have you guys handled the whole COVID situation?
We've been doing well. Say, I mean, I was a governor. I mean, I have opinions on her that aren't favorable. But at least for us, we're fortunate also to have a large space compared to a lot of the other restaurants in town. So when we were doing like the 50% or 80% capacity or whatever it is, we have the space to allow people to be socially distanced, like the 6 feet plus, and then like having the tables separated, things like that, to make it a more safe environment for our patrons. So we were fortunate in that, like, so we have a whole like main floor, and then we also have a upper mezzanine area with a bar as well, and so we could properly space people out. And then when it was also in the middle of summer, we also have an outdoor like patio space that's fairly large, and so we had at least the capacity to at least have those precautions in,
Mm.
where a lot of other restaurants were only doing either just takeout just because they don't have like the allocated space to be doing
Yeah.
things safely.
Well, that's good. That's definitely, yeah. I mean, I don't know what all the laws were or the precautions that I was taking,
Hmm.
but I mean that I know some places out here in just the Columbus area where just because of where they are located, and they weren't able to do any of the outdoor seating or able to space
Yeah,
any
strictly
places out.
limited to pickup or delivery.
Yeah, and
No, it's been nice. I mean, I'm glad at least a lot of places have been able to do the delivery, because I think some places haven't. They never did it before, but just it's almost like like discovering the convenience of like, oh, I can just call or place like an online order and just pick it up.
Mm-hmm.
Because believe it or not, I'm not a very sociable person. I'm kind of reclusive. So
I
just being
am
able
the
to
same
order
way.
something online and like not have to interact with people, I'm like
Yep.
online order. I'm like, cool. I'm like, I'm here for my food. Bye.
uh,
I hear you on that.
the reason I've enjoyed it so much is that because of the various jobs that I've had, I would have missed out on some uh, like one-time drops from different breweries or just like
Mm.
exclusive beers. But since they had the online ordering,
Mm. Yeah.
I was able to snag some of those beers
Get your order in. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Before you'd have to go in and
before
actually
I'd have to go in,
do
get
all
a
the work of
ticket,
going
and
there.
stand in line, and just hope to God that you get it and stuff like that. And
So
Yeah,
that's actually
I
one of the
agree.
things we were. I don't know. We were, I guess, smart about also because I think because COVID kind of hit right when, or at least close to around our release time for Assassin, and I think we were actually probably one of the first people to do a quote unquote release for it, like a barrel aged stout release, like just for like the public. But I think we did it like at least handled it pretty well with the circumstance we were given, where it's pretty much sure we still did the whole lottery ticket like would have, um, but we were still at least okay. It was pretty much just like a drop off, like pick up and you just drive away. So it was almost like a drive through where it's like you come in, show your ticket, we loaded your car, and then you could drive away. Like that's even while still we had the tap room closed. So I mean, if you wanted a food, you have to do it like online order it and then wait for it. But I mean, if you still wanted barrel aged beer, it was just drive through. Everyone wore masks and everything and sanitized properly, but just pick up and drive off, and it was actually worked out really nicely.
All right, so Pseudo Sue, is it just that's just the base name of it? Just
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
I didn't.
So,
I know it was a series. I didn't know if that was. So this is like, is this the base?
yes. So the third beer we're doing
Pseudo
today.
Sue's, yep. So Pseudo Sue is the main beer, but then we have our multiple offshoots of Pseudo Sue. So that'd be DDH Sue, Mosaic Sue, and Galaxy Sue.
Pseudo Sue is actually my favorite beer from
Oh yeah.
Toppling. I don't know if I said that.
Thank you.
I don't know if
I
I said that.
I don't think you have.
What?
I don't think you have.
I might have. But this is definitely my personal favorite out of. But and then I do enjoy some of the Sue series. Like when I worked at the beer store, I had it more readily available than I was able to snag one. But right now I get lucky every now and again on my trips. But I'm very excited about this. Nate, I hope you enjoy it.
You're setting me really high expectations now.
Yeah, I know.
Really
I know. And
pressuring
I know
me,
you're gonna
man.
shoot me down. You're gonna shoot me down. So, I'm sure this is a common question that you get, but since we are covering TG Brewing,
right.
I have to ask about the whole, like, the whole Sue inspiration.
Okay, I was gonna
Right.
ask this. I'm glad you did.
Yeah.
So Pseudo Sue is actually kind of an offshoot brand initially. So we like way back when, even before I started, there was another beer we made called Tsunami Pale Ale, and Pseudo Sue is an offshoot of that. So it's Pseudo Sue, so Pseudo Tsunami. But whoever our designer at the time, when they first made the Pseudo Sue name, I think he just pulled inspiration from Sue the dinosaur from the Field Museum in Chicago. I mean, it's like the largest.
Yeah. I
fully
follow her on Twitter.
preserved- Yeah, T-Rex skeleton
Yeah.
in like the world. So it's pretty recognizable. So I think there was kind of like, we're gonna use that like iconography and boom, Pseudo Sue with a T-Rex on it.
How long has this series been around?
Oh man, I think we had like the anniversary sometime last year. I want to say they first made it in 2011 or 12.
Oh, okay.
I believe. I should know it offhand, but I do not.
No, you're
But
good.
yeah, so it started about then because they didn't do it right away. But um, but the Field Museum, they have the rights to sue the dinosaur in its likeness. So like the name being associated with the dinosaur and things like that. So they send us a cease and desist because intellectual property theft. Much like what a lot of breweries kind of are doing now, but it's usually just like one-off beers. But instead of, we kind of have three options: either like change the name, change the dinosaur, or the third option we kind of went with is we kind of reached out to them after the cease and desist, like, hey, we still really want to use like the Sue the Dinosaur name with the brand because at that point, TG was gaining a lot of like notoriety, like just with the name and branding and everything like that, and just we were really gaining traction with it. And so we reached out, we're like, hey, instead of us doing kind of like those other two options, like let's work out on a partnership. And so they agreed to that, and now we're at a point where every Pseudo Sue and King Sue that we sell, some of the proceeds of the sales goes to the Field Museum of Chicago.
Oh, that's
Oh.
awesome.
Yeah, and so like on
Huh.
the can yourself, you can see in collaboration or something like that's similar with the Field Museum. But yeah, so it's really worked out, and I mean we're all big fans of the Field Museum and what they do, and so it's really worked out for us, and it's I think it's actually a really great partnership.
All right. Well, are you ready to
Yeah,
go in for your first sip there?
let's dive into this.
Do you love it? Do you love it?
Yeah.
Do you love it?
How much do you pay me? No, it's definitely very, very strong in the hops as compared to the other two. Which caught me off guard. I wasn't expecting that at first, but as it's going along, I am kind of enjoying this. I need to take a few more into it first, though. What do you enjoy about it? Let me ask that, since I know this is one of your favorites. What do you enjoy about it?
So this,
Or both of you, honestly.
well, for me
Okay.
personally, I enjoy that it's a little bit lower on the ABV, but
What is
just-
the ABV?
It's
What did you say?
I think it's like 5.8, 5.6.
yeah, something
Okay.
like that. So
Okay.
I mean, compared to the other ones, it's a
Yeah.
little bit lighter.
Yeah.
But to me personally, it's lighter. It has more of that crisp, that hop bite to it, which I enjoy.
That's what I'm getting there.
But it's not to the point where it's like overwhelming and like a palate wrecker. But
Right.
this is, it's light, refreshing, even I would say, crisp, and it has a pleasant hoppy finish, which I thoroughly enjoy. I enjoy every part of this beer, from the smell to the finish.
Hell yeah. I love. I mean, I love too. I mean, like, whenever I go to the tap, and we always have like everything that was released like recently. So we got like a lot of our double IPAs, the new beers that we're doing, and sometimes like even just like last night, like I was kind of like, "What do you want?" I'm like, "I'll just take a normal pseudo Sue," and I don't know. Even though I get like we always like do sensory testing before we actually do the final packaging, but like just getting like the final product and like I don't know. Sometimes I always kind of forget, like, damn, like this is just so, it's so fucking good. I'm still amazed, where I'm just like, shit, this is good.
I'm thinking this might have been. Honestly, this is probably the one that I've had before.
Did I bring it?
No, I think this is one I've had on tap. At, I think it was probably our bar. But I think at least I think it was on tap. Yeah, I think no, it might have been from a can. But it is interesting to point out the whole. So like again, I don't describing beer is not my strong point, but the whole not ruining your palate. It is you do have that sharp bitterness of the hops at first, but then like afterwards it smooths out pretty quick, which I enjoy. I don't feel like I'm maybe left with this strong hops taste on my tongue for the rest of the time, which is nice because I've had plenty of IPAs that do that. Leave the hop taste in, and you're just like, man, I'm pretty much done after this.
Well, that's like the thing where it's like everyone's trying to like. I mean, I guess like the whole zeitgeist right now of the Northeast style IPA is like removing the bitterness and just leaving like sweetness and like those fruity like esters still like in your drink. But like the Sue's nice where it's, and some of our other IPAs where it's like we still want that bitterness because it's that like savory part of the beer where it's like it's always something that like it makes you wanting more because it's like at least that like refreshing taste. It's always makes you want like lasting you make me want more like another drink. It's a quality of beer that like people are trying to remove, which I think is almost like a favorable thing in beer.
I mean, for me, another aspect of it is like you talked about this earlier, but this is definitely a beer that if there were any mistakes it'd be very easily to point them out.
Yep.
And like I've said this before, I'm not calling this a simple beer in a negative way. When I think of simple beers, I think of like the Pilsner and the lagers and like the Kolsch's, the OG beers. But this is, I mean, if there was something wrong with it, it would be very easy to tell. You can't hide behind that hop or that juiciness at all with this. And I mean, that's why it's one of my. It's probably in my top 10 beers. I'll say that.
Hell yeah. Well, that's one of those things where it's like, if you know a great brewery, or at least a good one, is that if they can actually produce like a good lager, because lagers are probably the hardest beers to make. In that, like, they're so simple. Like, sure, it's like the purest form of just like grains, hops, like yeast, and like just water. And like, if there are off flavors like diacetyl, using like being the biggest one, or any of the other varieties of like off flavors, that it's gonna come through. Like, if you aren't making a clean beer, you're just gonna get like a buttery corn vegetable hot mess.
I've had a few beers like that.
Well, do you want to rate this?
Oh, absolutely. T, hands down.
Man, all right.
Hands down.
Guns a-blazing. All right. Gosh.
It's one of my favorite beers. It's
fair enough.
light,
Understandable
crisp.
there, then. You've already got to experience it before. I'm gonna go with a high S. High S for me.
All right, now let me tell you why you're wrong.
let me tell you.
You're wrong, and you should feel bad.
Did I fail the test?
Everyone is entitled to an opinion, but yours is wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy it a lot. I really do.
I'm all out of mine.
I think just personally for me, I think I've been spoiled with adjuncts. I think is the biggest thing.
Yeah,
thanks to you.
Well,
so
how is it up there in your cloud city?
So when it comes down to trying these, I guess I don't know. Trying these not base beers. I don't know base beers, but I think I was going with a different kind of mindset, and I need to remove that mindset from me. To be honest, we just need to try more of these.
All in due time, Nate.
Huh?
All in due time.
All in due time. I know you spoiled me with all these adjunct things. But like starting to go into just these base beers, I'm enjoying this a lot, and I have high expectations for whatever you have me trying next. So,
well, what I do have you trying next is King Sue.
Is that a segue into the next one?
Yeah, that is the segue.
I like
Beer of the night. And King Sue is, would you say that this is like the big brother of Pseudo Sue?
Yeah. So, I mean, the grain bill for it is different, so it is a different beer to Pseudo Sue.
And
but I mean, like I said earlier in the show, where we really wanted to show like the best of the best of like Citra. And while Pseudo Sue is kind of like that, staple of like, oh, here's the ground base. Like King Sue just kicks it up a notch. We're putting like our best foot forward. Not saying that we aren't with Sue, but at least with King Sue, it's like here's that haymaker. Here's that like that 1-2 punch.
Why'd you do that?
Why'd I do what?
We have to wait too long.
Well, I have to do this real quick.
That is a good picture.
I have to be that person.
You
at
have
the
to be the
brewery
person that
takes a picture of their beer before. I mean, I gotta bust out the brand new Toppling Goliath glass, which I was very surprised I got it in time for the episode. I got it yesterday.
Nice.
I got the whole package. So there's that. Perfect. But did you have a sip?
No. I was just.
Oh, okay.
Let's get in that.
So going from Pseudo-Sue to this one is probably going to be a bigger jump for you.
Okay. Explain. Like,
Well, Pseudo-Sue is about 5.8%, 5.6 ABV ballpark. This is closer to 8%.
It's,
you let me pour
7.8.
how much in here?
Yeah, it's a 7.8 ballpark, so you're fine.
It's only noon. We still have the whole rest of the day left.
Yeah.
That's true. I gotta drive home.
Man, this is gonna be great doing the podcast in my house.
Right?
Are you you ready?
Yeah, so I saw it's a double IPA.
Yep.
That's what it was. So what is the
What's
what is
the
the difference between
a double IPA?
not so much that. I mean, is it just more hops, I'm guessing, right? Or no?
Yeah, so it's a little bit more. It's more on the dry hopping. So we do a little bit different with like the hopping schedule and things like that, just to really bring out more of the quality of like the citra hops.
'Cause, I mean, I've had double IPAs before. I just
Oh, yeah.
think I've never really asked the question.
Now, when you get into more like the triple and quadruple IPAs, it gets more into the just marketing terms for the most part, unless they're
Huh.
really doing something different. Unless it's just like stronger ABV for the most part. And at least for triples, I think they start adding like lactose and things like into it.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I think it's just more about like just like overloading your IPA with more and more hops. I think.
Like, I think the last triple I had was probably Hoof Hearted's Dragon Saddle, and I think that sits at about 11.5%. So
Okay. I think it's probably then just denoting as like a higher ABV then for the most part.
yeah, yeah. But this is.
All right.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
I'm
Let's
excited.
go for it.
I'm gonna let you sip first. I'm
Okay,
very
one more
excited about
drink
this.
of water. So you've had this one, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. The only one I haven't had has been Mosey.
Okay. You're gonna let me sip first? I don't.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
Oh, let me have it with the logo out on the camera.
Yeah, got product placement.
Wow.
I knew it. I knew it. I knew it.
Holy
I knew
shit.
it. I knew it. I knew it.
Damn.
Because there's two people in the world, Nate, that I've experienced Toppling Goliath with. There are two people. There are the people
Wow.
who like Pseudo-Sue more, and there are the people who like King Sue more.
Wow.
Mhm.
And
Well, King Sue won. I'm already gonna tell you that. I'm already gonna tell you
I
that.
knew that was going to happen when you weren't head over heels for Pseudo-Sue.
Oh my goodness. So what is the what do you think the reason would be for that? What I don't.
The people who are fans of the Pseudo-Sue are a higher caliber of beer drinkers.
Okay. 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 All right. You're gonna shit on me now. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I don't know.
Big
I don't know.
brand.
I love this a lot.
I would say that this one is probably as close that you're going to get to a juice bomb from Toppling Goliath.
I don't know.
Okay.
So some of our other doubles can get pretty juicy.
Okay, well, yeah, I mean,
because I'm drinking our X-Ops Gold right now, and it's
is that pretty
pretty
juicy?
nice.
Okay, so
oh yeah.
so out of the ones that we have access to in Ohio,
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
For the ones we have access to. Fair enough.
that's a better way to say it.
Man, I really like that. That was good. I mean, I enjoyed the Pseudo-Sue, but I think this one. Yeah.
Well, how about this?
Kick
In
it
the
up and-
4-pack that I gave you, would you rather have a second pack of the second can of the King Sue, and I'll take the Pseudo-Sue back, or would you rather have another?
Is
can?
that leaving me without Pseudo-Sue at all?
Well, yeah.
Oh no, I'd rather have a Pseudo-Sue.
You'd rather
and-
have that?
Yeah, I'd rather still have another Pseudo-Sue.
Okay.
Definitely.
See.
Yeah, no, I definitely. I'm not saying at all that I hated the Pseudo-Sue at all. I enjoyed it. I just think this one is really sticking out for me.
Oh yeah, this is a beer that I would have, knowing that I don't have to work the next day. I would have a few of if I was just sitting in a pool or like doing a float trip with a few of these heavy hitters.
Hell yeah.
Because
I get behind that.
this is perfect for a hot day. I'll say that it's
Oh,
juicy,
it's also
Oh, yeah.
super
hoppy.
dangerous. Where you like, I can plow through a 4-pack, and then it's like all of a sudden you stand up, you're like,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes. You said
It
it was what,
sneaks up on you
7.8
with
is what
this
you said?
because yeah,
Yeah.
7.8. This doesn't feel like a
Yep.
7.8 beer at all.
No.
Yeah, I'm glad you really enjoy that one.
Yeah. I'm glad I got to experience it. I don't think I've ever, honestly, I never knew King Su was a thing. I've only ever seen the Pseudo Su stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. I'm just gonna give it a rating now as a T.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we're just going right.
Go
into
with,
ratings.
yeah, I'll
That's
run
fine.
right through my rating right now because I really enjoy this.
I'm going to give this one a highest S possible. I'm going to save the T for the Pseudo Su.
Fair enough.
But
fair
I
enough.
thoroughly enjoy the King Su.
So this has got a place in your heart.
Yeah,
I understand.
yeah. No, I'm going to go with the sentimental value on that. But I don't know. I just okay. So when Toppling Goliath first came to the area, in Northwest Ohio, where I was working at the craft beer store, there was a short window there where we were only able to get kegs of the beer
Mm-hmm.
from the distributor. It was probably because it was just like as soon as you guys came to the market, we couldn't keep it in stock. We would post a picture of it, and then in 2 hours the
It'd
beer
be
would be
gone.
gone. Yeah. So we had a few kegs of it. I was getting growlers of Pseudo Su.
Back in the day, yeah.
And oh man,
I didn't
what
realize
a
you guys
time.
did growlers at that location.
It just started.
Okay.
Like when my last few months there is when they like put it in and stuff like that.
That probably sucks.
No.
I'm sure you would have loved to have.
We were flying through kegs when it first started.
I mean, for you to then be gone after I'm sure you would have loved to have that the entire time you were there.
Well, yeah, I would have,
Yeah.
but I was there for at least a year.
Yeah.
I would say, 8 months to a year. Yeah. So we're gonna give this. I'm gonna give this a high S. You're gonna give it a T.
Give it a T. Yeah.
I'm excited about that. I'm glad. Before we do the beers of the night, Eric, is there anything that you'd like to mention real quick, or any beers or events that you've got coming out soon?
I suppose follow us on our socials. I think on Twitter, like TG Brews. Instagram, I think is like Toppling Brews or Toppling Beer now. We got hacked. We got hacked a while ago, and so they had to make an entirely new Instagram account because apparently Instagram's horrible at account recovery.
Huh.
It is Toppling Brews. I just pulled it up on my phone.
Sounds good. Sweet. So Toppling Brews. I guess if you want to follow my socials, both Instagram and Twitter are at King of the Hild, HILD, because puns.
I love that.
I don't post a lot of interesting things. It's usually pictures of my dog or like records.
Those are already interesting. So
yeah. More pictures of dogs, please.
Other than that, interesting beers. Like we have turmoil monster cookie, coconut monster cookie coming out soon. I think we already did the lottery stuff for that, but we got assassin coming up soon in May. So I think the lottery and stuff like that are gonna be coming out, or at least more information about it are gonna be coming out soon. We got a lot of other projects that are going to be coming out within the next coming months as well. A lot of collaborations we did in the last year or two are finally coming to fruition. We have a Three Chiefs collab coming out at some point. I think Central Waters collaboration should be coming out towards the end of the year.
I think some pretty good
what
beers.
Else we got? I think some Naughty Temple should be getting ready. We have more smoked porter coming out. Yeah, we have a lot. It's like we did a lot of, especially during COVID, we did a lot more like stout production and things like that, just because we didn't know what to do. So we were just starting to fill up our barrel room a little bit more, and so We're gonna have a lot of. It's gonna be like the year of stouts and the year of barrel aged beers, just because we've got a lot coming out.
Hey, I'm all for it.
Even I'm losing track.
One thing I forgot to ask: if people were to come visit your location, how many beers do you typically have on draft or on tap in your tap room?
We have about 20, 24 plus, I think.
Wow.
And then we always make it a staple to always have something barrel aged on, even if it's just like our Turmoil series. But they're all like high quality. I think even like right now, like whoever's listening right now, if you're in the Iowa, Minnesota, Wisconsin tri-state area, or just want to make a trip, I think right now we have our collaboration with Barrel or Bottle Logic on, which is Kaiju Clash.
Oh.
We've got, I think we still have Stout Hawks, Barrel Aged Stout Hawks, which is our collaboration with Horus.
Man, you guys do a lot of collaborations with some very well-known breweries.
We had a good long run of just like doing collaborations with a lot of people that we're friends with in the industry. So we did like Horus, Three Chiefs, Bottle Logic. That one was like one of our first ones that we did, at least in the last couple years. So that was like towards the end of 2018, and that was about a whole 2-year project. Just because like when we were sampling barrels for that, it just we were like they need a little bit more time. So we were just trying to find more, at least find like the right combination of like things to do with it. What else do we have? I know we have some more collabs. We did a collaboration with Sawyer, which is a smaller brewery out in South Dakota. That one probably won't be coming until next year at the earliest. We got a lot of things cooking up in the barrel room, but they're all going to be fantastic.
Well, I look forward to. This is a small rumor that Nate and I haven't even discussed. We've only mentioned it, but I'm talking about that road trip that we to hit up different breweries.
Man,
but no, it would be awesome to try some of those barrel aged stuff, and
hell yeah,
you know,
almost have to spend a whole day at each location just to be able to really enjoy everything.
And I know Toppling Goliath would definitely be on our list of places to go if we were to
say it's a hike.
It's definitely a hike for us.
We're 3 hours. We're literally in the middle of nowhere. We're 3 hours from the next like major city. We're 3 hours from Des Moines. We're 3 hours from Madison. We're 3 hours from the Twin Cities. I mean, Rochester, Minnesota is about, I don't know, an hour away. That's the closest one, but other than that, it's all just highways and no interstate. But it's a beautiful area. That's at least the fortunate thing about where we live, where Iowa is very much what you think it is. It's a lot of cornfields, very flat.
I mean, that sounds like Ohio.
At least in Mississippi and like the quote unquote driftless region that we're part of, it's at least covered with a lot of bluffs, a lot of limestone cliffs and things like that. So I mean, it's a beautiful area. Become like spring, summer, and fall. So if you love outdoor stuff, it's the place to be.
Oh yeah, no, I would definitely. That's on my bucket list. I think of breweries to go check out would definitely be to come check out Toppling Goliath. All right, Nate, are you ready for the beers of the night?
Yeah, let's go for those beers of the night. Typically, we start with, and again, the order is just comparing the beers that we've had here in this sitting.
Doesn't really reflect on our rating. I don't think.
Yeah, nothing specific to whether we get a T and S or anything. And we typically start with 4. So I'll go first. For me, I'm gonna put I think the Pompeii is my fourth place.
I am also going to put the Pompeii as my
fourth.
But I mean, again, just to reiterate, these are all beers that I thoroughly enjoyed, and it's just because we have 4 of them that
it's like someone has to come in last.
Someone's got to come in last, and since my heart belongs to Pseudo Sue. What's your number 3 for the
I'm
day?
actually going to ask you to do number 3 because I'm still thinking.
Okay.
I know I've had a lot of time to think here, but it's
my
difficult.
number 3 is going to be King Sue.
Okay.
I did thoroughly enjoy it, but I just
It's because you have a refined palate.
Exactly. Let's put that on a T-shirt. I'm gonna write that down. What is the time on that? It'll be my new ringtone.
Gosh, I don't know. It's really. I mean, my first place is probably pretty obvious, but my second and third are really difficult. They're almost tied with each other. Okay, I'm gonna.
Aren't you glad that we're doing this?
Yeah, I feel so. I'm so stressed out. I hate stress.
When you have to struggle.
I hate stressful moments like this. I'm gonna say the pseudo sue for third.
All right. We will now be taking applications for a new co-host.
I'm telling you, man, it's difficult, and I think it was really good. It's just this between that, and I'll just go with my second one, was the Mosey. I don't know. They were both really good. I enjoyed them both. They were both different, but I enjoyed them both equally.
My number 2 is also the Mosey as well.
Okay.
It was definitely fun to try a new beer from TG. I'll say that, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I can see why it is one of your favorites.
I think it might also be the mindset is that it is a newer thing, so I want to give it a little bit of credit for that. It hasn't had as much time to get kind of that fixed, and over the years, changed and stuff. It's just right out the bat. Great.
So that brings us to our number 1 beers of the night.
Number 1 beers of the night. So I gotta go with the King Sue,
and I am going to give it to Pseudo Sue, hands down. I had a feeling that this is how it was going to play out.
You had a feeling,
especially since you were like, I don't know about
before
Pseudo
this
Sue.
or during it.
During.
My reaction, give it off.
Yeah. But I'm really glad. I'm really glad that you had fun with this episode, Nate, and I'm really glad that you enjoyed King Sue as much as you did. And for the most part, this is a new brewery for you. So
yeah,
I think it's awesome to at least be part of someone trying TG brews for the first time. Just be like,
right?
Oh shit!
Well, I hope I lived up to that expectation. Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I had only had I think it was Pseudo Sue that I had before, but I can guarantee I've never had any of these before, or anything honestly from Toppling Goliath. So I am very impressed, and I'm excited to try more stuff if I get that opportunity. If we go on that road trip,
yeah, if we ever get to do
Hell
that.
Yeah. No, that's one of my favorite. Just like think like people like really truly enjoy the beer you make. Quick story where he's say me and the owner Clark Louis, we went to the Stone like 22nd anniversary in California, and we had like Morning Delight. So that's it's a non-barrel aged stout.
Yes.
With coffee and maple.
That is one that we were able to get here.
Oh, nice.
Oh, the Stone.
No. Their Toppling Goliath stout Morning Delight.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay. But what was I gonna say? But I remember like when we had it on tap, like some people like I don't know, we didn't have a lot of people except for some like diehard fans come by, but there was like a lot of people who hadn't heard our stuff before, so they tried it. They got the little sampler glass. They went off to the side, and like I was like kind of like watching them, and they smelled it and they like drank it. And I just like hear them say like, "Holy shit!" And I'm like, "Yeah." It's like that's right. That was such a good feeling. I'm like, yeah, I know it's good, but like just seeing people's reaction and be like, "Oh shit!" Like that's so good. I'm like, I know.
Excited for when that happens for your beer.
Yeah, for my first beer.
Definitely, like when people like enjoy it that much.
Right? That's awesome.
Are you ready to move on to the cheers?
Yeah, let's do our cheers here.
So the first cheers that I would like to offer tonight, I say tonight, but it's the middle of the day.
Different for us.
The first cheers I would like to offer is to you, Eric. Thank you so much for coming on. Thank you so much for taking the time. I know it was a little bit of a hassle to get this episode all set up, but I really do appreciate you coming on, hanging out with us, sending us the 4-pack of the Mosey. hooking us up. I don't know if that was you, but Toppling Goliath as well, just hooking us up with the gear, the glasses as well, and stuff like that. So
Thanks for having me.
you.
yeah, no,
Cheers.
anytime. This was a blast.
Definitely.
Thank you so much, Eric. This one.
Hell yeah.
Is there
I don't have any specific cheers. No.
nobody else in your family's birthday?
No, I didn't forget any birthdays this time. Yeah, I don't have any other cheers. So
All right. So, did you go to toast me again? Let's do this.
no,
Let's see how you go.
okay, yeah, I really want to toast you this whole night. I really want to toast you.
So this one's to all the listeners out there. Very much appreciate it because without you, we wouldn't be doing this. So thank you so much. Just a heads up, we are on Spotify, YouTube, and Apple Podcasts now. We also, I am in the works of getting together a more proper merch store together. So that's going to be up and running hopefully by the end of next month.
Do you have a shirt that says "I hate you"?
That is one of the lists.
Okay.
That's on
Okay,
my
cool.
list of merch to
Good.
get together. But thank you so much. We really do appreciate it. And again, we do have the Patreon going, but again, never expected, but always appreciated. So this one's for you, listeners.
Cheers.
Thank you so much. All right. And that brings us to an end of another episode of the Pint Pals Podcast. We'll be back again in 2 weeks, and hopefully I can get this up as soon as possible. So
We appreciate everybody. We appreciate your time listening. And again, we also appreciate Eric. Thank you so much for being here with us today from Toppling Goliath.